Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, warm greeting. I am Devaka Kumari Acharya, PhD student at Faculty of Nursing, Prince of Shankla University. This presentation entitled Textual Organization of Hemodialysis Nursing Practice and Institutional Ethnography is a part of doctoral thesis which was conducted under the supervision of Associate Professor Dr. Kittikon Nilmanath and Assistant Professor Dr. Umapon Bonensapon. This presentation covers introduction, objective, methods, findings, conclusion, recommendations, and limitation. Moving on, introduction. A central feature of ruling practice in contemporary society is its reliance on text-based discourses and forms of knowledge. The knowledge, experiences, and practices of the people at local level linked to larger social relations are mediated by text documents. Smith 2005 and 2006 emphasized that text organizes the people's everyday lives. As Smith mentioned above, Nepalese nurses' everyday practices in hemodialysis is organized by dialysis policy and protocol and other documents to be filled in the form of text as a priority of the hospital and the government. On the other hand, renal care resources are shortage. In such context, nurses have unique experience of hemodialysis care. Pichuk Bonsai 2000 highlighted that nurses working in the Division of Health Labor are struggling in the political-economic situation and the text-based practices as well. Exploration of how text organized hemodialysis nursing practices using institutional ethnography methodology helps to change the nurse's social position in hemodialysis practice and improve the quality of hemodialysis care. Objective. This study aimed to explicate the social organization of textual nursing practices in hemodialysis unit of a university hospital in Nepal. Move on methods. Setting. This study was conducted in a hemodialysis unit of a university hospital in Nepal. Regarding informants, 10 registered nurses who had at least 6 months of work experiences were purposely selected as study informants in the study. Move on data collection methods, in-depth interview, observation, focus group, and collecting the text or documents were the main methods of data collection applied in this study. 10 in-depth individual interviews were conducted with the nurses. 167 hours were spent in participant observations with shadowing the nurses to observe the hemodialysis and other care. 2 focus group sessions were conducted at the end of field work, and policy, protocol, and other care document forms were identified during the observation and interview with the nurses, and they were incorporated in the data analysis. Data collection process. First of all, ethical approval was obtained from the Faculty of Nursing, Prince of Shankla University, and Nepal Health Research Council. Then administrative permission was obtained from the hospital for data collection. Written consent for observation of nursing practice was obtained from unit supervisor of hemodialysis unit. Written informed consent was obtained from all nurses before collecting the data. Data collection began with observation, followed by interview, collecting the text documents and focus group. Data analysis followed Smith 1987 institutional ethnographic analysis. Now move on findings. Various textual documents organize nurses' practice in hemodialysis unit. However, 5 most texts that organize nurses' work were included in this study. These are hemodialysis policy, hemodialysis record form, protocol, hemodialysis schedule, and free hemodialysis service receipt record form. Text 1, free hemodialysis policy. That was government produced text to provide the free dialysis to the patient with end-stage renal disease. That policy organized most of the nursing activities such as preparation of medicine and chart slip, documentation, cost calculation, obtain patient signature, etc. Regarding free policy, how it organized nurses' work, RN3 said Free policy increased paperwork. We need to prepare medicine slip, charge slip, and give to patients or families. RN said, we have to calculate the cost of dialysis procedures and the total cost of all procedures every month and send to the administration. RN2 said, it is effective to our work. We have to do more documentation. It decreases the time to talk with the patients, get their personal data, discuss and explain to the patients, maintain an interpersonal relationship. These works are being list. Another protocol text was hemodialysis record form that organized what nursing activities must do at what time and what information to be documented. RN8 said, we record BP hourly. We also record pulse, temperature, and saturation. We record in short form for normal and regular patient. We write where the patients come from, for example, OPD or ward, general condition, vascular access, and blood flow rate. Recording about the serious patient, RN3 said, sometimes when patients become serious and have 001 emergency call, we need to write in detail when patient's blood pressure dropped, when saturation dropped, when called to the doctor, we need to record all information. Another text was protocol. Protocol organized nurses thinking that it is important for their practice and they emphasize to use it to guide their practices that might not include their real experience of patient care in hemodialysis. Regarding use of protocol, RN8 said protocol and guidelines are very necessary for nursing because the work must be performed in a specific way. If new nurses have a protocol, they can do at least step by step and know what to do. They need a protocol to gain knowledge. Another text was hemodialysis schedule, which usually organized hemodialysis nursing practices. Nurses should follow the dialysis schedule while assigning the patient to the dialysis machines. Regarding assigning the patient to the dialysis machine and how schedule affect their work, RN4 said, we have to follow the dialysis schedule. If we could not provide dialysis to the patient at their assigned time, they quarrel with us. So we must follow the schedule. We cannot provide dialysis in the morning if evening sessions patient come earlier. The last text included in this study is free hemodialysis service receipt record form. Nurses should obtain patients or family's signature after each dialysis session. If they forget, they could get in trouble and have to go to the administration to give justification why missing to record the patient's or family's signature. Regarding this signature, RN7 said, this is a government hospital, so we provide free dialysis for poor people. Patient or family must sign on the file after each dialysis session because government pay for dialysis and without this record, hospitals do not get reimbursement. Therefore, we need to maintain this file. We check the file whether patients or visitors signed or not. If not, we ask them to sign. Move on discussion. Free hemodialysis policy was not available to the nurses in everyday practices at the nurses station. However, translocally and invisibly, it hooked nurses' work to meet the political economic interest of the government. Smith 2006 mentions that the conceptual idea of using text is to hook the individual's consciousness to the relation at translocal and to their ruling relations. Hospital administrator in this study, as their hierarchical positions, had authority of resource management. Nurses worked with scarce resources, but administration did not hear nurses' voice. According to Meles et al., 2018, the capitalist class possesses economic and political power not because of their highest political offices of the state, but due to its hierarchical bureaucratic organization. The text hemodialysis service receipt record form was developed by a hospital to meet the political economic interest of the government for reimbursement. Visit Bonsai 2000 argued that institutional text produced to respond to government documents are not valued-free. And the analysis of this text demonstrates their capacity to formalize individual work to meet economic and management goal. This study concludes that the hospital and Nepal's health ministry established the activities and recording requirements through text documents that organized hemodialysis nursing practices. Identification of these texts and exploration of their influences on the nurse's decision making, patient care, and documentation are essential to find the optimum solution in daily care and determine the appropriate support for nurses in hemodialysis setting. This study had following recommendations. Nurses need to revisit their hemodialysis practice to improve the nurses' status quo within the socio-cultural and bureaucratic context. To hear the nurses' voice, they need to raise their consciousness, begin working on transforming their subordinate role in healthcare organization to independent and partnership role in the institutionalization of their knowledge in hemodialysis care rather than just follow the textual practices. The hospital administration need to facilitate the nurses with adequate resources, encourage to use their knowledge and bodily experiences of hemodialysis care. Limitation. This study included only the voices of nurses. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.